And MPs, wards parties and trade union branches the length and breadth of Britain donated to ensure that the Liverpool councillors would take their struggle to the High Court.
We have to remind everybody here in this room tonight that if they are guilty, then we share collectively in the joint guilt, because we put them up to it. We democratically decide from the policy. We told them what to do. I say to those people who are unemployed, to the young comrades who aren't working, to the older comrades on a meagre pension, that we're not asking the earth from you. We're asking in Marxist terms from each according to your ability. And Comrade John has brought over £50, is it, John?
50, yeah.
From Claycross. I don't want to seek to embarrass the other MPs. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to double that. I'm putting in to start off a cheque for £100 in this particular campaign. Shop stewards committees, groups of trade unionists, either match the £50 or match the £100. Let's see the money flowing down here tonight.
And the cause of the Labour 47 today should be the cause of the leadership of the Labour movement, just as it would have been the cause of the founders of the Labour movement. And people who don't recognise the continuing struggle between comrades in the 19th century against bad laws won't understand the nature of the system and won't be in the business to change that system.
But the battleground was the preferred choice of the district auditor, an unelected individual, whose legal bills amounted to over £250,000, ironically paid for by the ratepayers, who were, according to the DA, deprived of £106,000 in grants because of the irresponsible actions of the Labour councillors.
It's our council, why shouldn't we decide what we want? Not what those high up, what they want. They don't do nothing. They sit on the backside and do nothing.
I feel very aggrieved that somebody like the law courts and the district auditor can take me away from my job when perhaps the people of Grand Reward, I'm assuming that, would re-elect me and probably give me the same thumping majority that I had last time. Personally, in other matters, instead of going out quietly, say, wanting to retire and live a bit more sort of leisurely life, I'm going to be under harassment of trying to meet the bills that have been placed on me by the district auditor, the legal bills, and they'll be with me for the rest of my life. And that's a sort of worry and a concern that a person who's done public service shouldn't have to face.
From one unelected individual, the councillors now face three more in the shape of High Court judges, one of whom was an ex-fascist. What justice could they expect from these people? Although on purely legal grounds, the councillors' case seemed very strong, and 2 out of 3 judges conceded that the councillors had not been afforded natural justice in not being granted an oral hearing by the district auditor. Nevertheless, the court appearance appeared to be more about whether Liverpool Labour councillors had the right to build houses, improve services and create jobs, than it was about some technical late setting of a rate. It was as if socialism itself was on trial, and this became the campaigning slogan of the Liverpool councillors as they prepared to appeal against the guilty verdict.
The Court of Appeal and the High Court turned down the appeal by the Liverpool City Council, and the President of the High Court actually said that Mr. Justice Lawton, an ex-fascist who stood for as a fascist candidate in Hammersmith in 1936, actually said one of the reasons for turning down the appeal was that the Liverpool City Council took too much notice of the people who elected them.
But the fight had just begun, and although so bloody in the first round, the councillors were unbowed and more determined than ever to battle on. The 49 were now sadly reduced to 47 because of 2 deaths. Bill Lafferty of a long illness, and Peter Lloyd, a young married councillor killed while on holiday in Spain with his family. Liverpool Labour councillors had done what no other local authority had done before. They would take their appeal to the House of Lords, the highest court in the land. This decision was not taken lightly. The struggle for justice had lasted 1.5 years. It had been a costly battle, with over £235,000 raised, mainly from rank-and-file donations. And it was costly in terms of the great strain placed on families who were faced with a very uncertain future and the possibility of bankruptcy, unemployment, homelessness, and even prison ahead. But they did not balk at the immensity of the cost of fighting through the House of Lords, even though they knew the odds were stacked against them.
Well, I think that if there's any justice left at all in Thatcher's Britain, then we've got to be found innocent. Because, of course, that certainly our only crime is that we're guilty of building houses, of creating jobs and improving education and improving nurseries, and keeping the rents and rates down. And certainly, if that's what we're guilty of, then, as we've said many times before, we're proud to stand up and say, yes, we are guilty and do your worst. But if there's any sort of justice left, then certainly, as far as the Lord of the Land is concerned, we must be considered